What's up, YouTube? Welcome to my channel. My name is Gene, and this is No Pro Drives. Today we're going to be driving a 2024 Alfa Romeo Giulia Competizione. So let's do a walk around the car, and let's get behind the wheel. This vehicle is provided by Ramsey Auto Group in Ramsey, New Jersey. Very beautiful body lines. You have Alfa Romeo logo on the brakes, front and back. You have 4 piston calipers on the front, single piston in the back. 225 tires all around the car. Very nice pearl black paint on the car, but again, black is the worst color to keep clean. Now let's take a look under the hood. Let's look at that turbocharged 4-cylinder Fury, providing 280 horsepower. Nice thing about Alphas is that the turbo is right here, so very easy to possibly work on, and the intake is right in front of you. Relatively open engine, so easy to do basic maintenance yourself. Recommended oil is 0W30. All right, and now we're gonna go for a drive. All right, guys, now we're inside of this Alfa Romeo Giulia Competizione. So now let's start it up and let's look at the basic functions. Cool thing about Alphas, and something that I do like, is the start button is on the steering wheel. I believe similar to some of the Porsches. Everything powers up quickly. Take a look at the gauges. This is normal mode. This is in dynamic mode. You can also push the suspension button. It will be in soft, or it will be in sports. Again, back to normal mode, and this is comfort mode. When you do that, you also have animation on the main screen. This 8.8-inch center screen is now touchscreen. So you also have Apple CarPlay there and Android Auto. You have your shifter over here, kind of looks like a BMW shifter. One thing I do like is the cup holders are in front of the shifter and not over here, where they can get on the way of your hand position. This is a slide, or like a pocket for your phone, where you can connect your phone. There's 2 additional USB ports, USB-A and USB Type-C, in addition to aux. There's space for the wire to run in the middle, and you can pull the phone out or in, whichever way you like. It also has wireless charger, and you have an additional USB port right here. Apparently this port doesn't want to work with my cable because it's not an OEM iPhone cable, but the port in the center console does work, so I'm not sure what the difference is, but it works perfectly in a different car. I think this port is kind of specific, that it needs to have like actual good quality data cable instead of a cheap gas station store cable, as far as I know. These are the controls. One negative thing is that this vehicle does not have cooled seats, so it only has heated seats and heated steering wheel. And I believe that cooled seats will be a very important and very cool thing to have. What What else can we look at? There's the sunroof. Open completely, close. You can close the shade automatically as well. And if you want to vent, there's a separate button for venting the sunroof. All right. And that's the sunroof operation. All right, guys, now we're gonna set this up in dynamic mode with sport suspension engaged. And let's go for a drive. All right, guys, so we're gonna go on our drive right now, but few things I wanted to go over. First of all, I'm not really sure what this little pocket for, but you can take it out. I assume that's for the key, and that's where I'm gonna put it. The shifter, if you want to put it in, obviously if you want to put it in drive, you push on the trigger towards yourself with the brake applied, and you're gonna put it in drive. When you want to put it in park, you just push the P and it switches to park. Again, you have three modes: D and A, dynamic, normal, and comfort. A is for comfort apparently. And this is a little button for suspension. So once you are in dynamic mode, it turns on, but you can also turn it off, and you can put the dampers in a soft mode. So it's pretty cool. This is for your multimedia. There's electronic parking. This is volume, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's go. Put it on drive. We're gonna be in comfort mode to start off. Suspension and soft. So let's go. We're gonna drive about, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes on the highway, 10 minutes local, and we're gonna be done. Hopefully you enjoy the drive. One thing right away, what I do like is this paddle shifters. They're huge and they are comfortable. One thing I don't like immediately that I can tell you, at least for my seating position, is this huge B pillar. Because if I want to look to my left and make sure there's no one in my blind spot, because remember, there is no blind spots, right? Blind spot is only where you're not looking. It's kind of in the way, and you have to kind of reposition yourself. The steering wheel feels nice. It's like medium thickness. It's not too thick, but it's not thin either. Leather feels good, but kind of smooth. My only wonder, I guess, if it's acceptable to being worn in a couple years. Similar to what I've seen in some Jeeps that have smooth steering wheel, but I'm not sure if that leather is a little different than this one, but it feels really nice to the touch. This is also leather, and remember, we are in Competizione model, so you have red stitching, contrast stitching all over the interior, on the dash panel, the seats, and you have gray stitching on the doors, but it's red on the dash panel and the seats. The seats is actually mixed, gray and red. Right now we are in comfort mode, so yeah, no frill type of drive. Really smooth, really comfortable. One thing that I'm gonna mention, the steering is very sharp. Like, even I move it a little bit, the car moves. Yep, steering feedback is really sharp. I like it. Kind of feels like I'm driving a sports car, but it's a 4-cylinder. Also, the turn signal is on the bottom left and the bottom right. Instead of being in the center, like in the center top, like for most other vehicles. Yeah, but the drive is very smooth. The AC works well, and it's 90 degrees today. And we are just in comfort mode, so Everything is in comfort mode, including suspension, including transmission, and the response of the accelerator. Let's see, in comfort mode, cruising at I was gonna say 65, but I was going 67. So cruising at 65, our 63 now, but whatever. Our RPMs are just under 1500, so let's say 1400. Not too bad, and that's in comfort mode. We'll put it in normal. Let's see if that changes. It does. Now it's pretty much 1500, so you get like 1,000 more. That's a normal mode. So it's 66 miles an hour. We're cruising at exactly 1500. And in dynamic mode, at the same speed, the RPMs go up to about 2300. So you get 800 more RPM. So basically, let's see what gear we're in. Dynamic switches to one less gear, so there's 8 in total. So when you're in dynamic, it automatically switches to a couple gears down. Response of the paddle shifters is very nice, actually. So we're gonna give you guys a little bit of preview. So as soon as I hit it, boom, boom. And that's gonna be our acceleration if you wanna pass. Not bad at all. You can quickly upshift, so it drops the RPMs. Because of dynamic mode, you're gonna hold the RPMs at that in the power band for the turbo. There's very minimal turbo lag. I'm gonna switch it back to auto mode. So very minimal turbo lag. I think this turbo is definitely properly sized. Yeah, you guys see that? Dynamic mode always holds the RPM much longer and over 2000. We'll switch it back to normal mode. Going 60, we're under 2000. And in comfort mode, it drops by another 1000. Not bad. Suspension feel, even in comfort mode, is stiff. It is not soft by any means. And in stiff mode, it's a little bit stiffer. Which is, I guess, good. But I don't really feel any kind of dramatic change, to be honest with you, between soft mode and sport mode, as far as dampening of the suspension. There is a difference, but very slight. The car feels very precise, very stiff overall. Not like a Honda stiff, where, like, you know, if I say Honda, but I actually had a 2007 Scion TC that I modified the crap out of, and my dad kept telling me I'm wasting my money, but I didn't listen. But you know what, Dad, you're right, I wasted a lot of money. For normal road driving, I will keep it in pretty much comfort mode all the time, the suspension, because it's just stiff enough, and the steering feedback is very nice. I like it, very precise. Not too bad. I know Alfa Romeo is owned by, what, I think Chrysler, right? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's Stellantis, same company that owns like Dodge. But this doesn't feel like a Dodge. This does not, because the only thing that I see remotely that looks like a Dodge would be the window switches. That's the only thing. Other than that, nothing. Nothing that I see, at least. If you guys see something or know more than I do, again, I'm not a professional. I'm just driving these cars and new YouTube channel. and just want to drive some cars and put out the content, you know. Because when I'm was buying my car, you know, I kind of wanted to see what people are talking about, and not professional reviewers, just regular people. And yeah, this is like a regular Joe review. Now we're gonna go to local streets and see how we do on a local street. You guys see that? It's turning well, and that was in soft mode, so not dynamic. It's just regular soft suspension setting. Little bump. Yeah, very smooth. Very smooth. Like I said, it's on the stiffer side, but not too stiff, but it's also not wobbling around, so it's not extremely soft. Once we switch it to, I think we drove enough in normal mode. We'll switch it to comfort. Let's see. Let's see if we feel the difference in acceleration. Oh, yes, we do. Yes. In comfort mode, everything is dumbed down big time. Like, I definitely felt, especially on that takeoff, that the car was taking off like I was making it instead of it wanting to. So accelerator pedal definitely dumbed down. So really soft. Avoided a little bump. But around town, you know, the comfort mode is not bad. Feels good. The car overall feels good. Like very, very turnable. I can't wait to drive the Quadrifoglio. I wonder how that feels, because I love the sound of that car. I think it's one of the best sounding V6s, including a GTR. GTR and an Alfa Quadrifoglio are two of the best sounding V6s. So let's see, around town, what else can I tell you guys? Visibility is good, but not great. These windows, as you can see, they look on a smaller side. The windshield is good. The windows are a little bit on the smaller side, and the side view mirrors are also a little bit on the smaller side. Now we're gonna switch it back to normal. I just switched the car to normal mode. Yeah, and the accelerator definitely became a little bit more alive, so a little bit sharper. Yes, definitely. You guys see that? Let me see if you guys can notice it. This is a normal mode, right? Like if I hit the accelerator, I'm accelerating right away. And in comfort mode, if I press the accelerator, it just does the same thing but slower. And the paddle shifters are great. I keep repeating myself, but the paddle shifters, like, I really like how they look, and they're just there all the time. It's like so awesome. Now switch it to dynamic mode around town. Right away. Picks up power right away, so we're in power band all the time. There's literally no turbo lag. Literally no. Even if there is, I don't feel it. It's very minimal. Very nice. I wish I had a little bit different exhaust tone. I mean, this is not a performance model, but if I had a little bit of louder exhaust, it would be kind of cool, like in dynamic mode. Maybe if they had like some kind of valves or something, it would be kind of cool. But the pickup is not bad. I mean, for a 4-cylinder, again, this is a 4-cylinder 280 horsepower turbocharged motor, but it feels good. It does not feel slow, does not feel inadequate. Feels good. And right now we're in sport suspension mode, and these little bumps that I'm going over, it just eats them up. It's funny because little bumps, you barely feel them, but bigger bumps, it takes them stiff and well, and definitely goes around the corners extremely well. Like, I am surprised. I didn't expect this from an Alfa, to be honest with you. I mean, Alfa Romeo is a cool name on its own, but the fact that it's owned by Stellantis, you know, it's a little bit of a downside, right? There's a lot of complaints as far as reliability goes, which I will have to review, and I will have to look how that goes. But driving impression, I am surprised. It's pretty good. I can't even see anything that I would not like. My only downside that I see is that this car is just small. I am 6'3", so I'm comfortable in the seats, but they're very snug. The back portion feels good, just correctly sized for me. The seat cushion, so the bottom portion, is good as well, but I can see that if someone would be, I wouldn't say obese, but let's say overweight, they will have an issue with how the seats are in this car. Let's see, what else? So this is more or less for someone who is fit, which should be normal in America, right? Normalize fitness. That should be the new presidential slogan. Normalize healthy lifestyle. Very nice. I will have to really think about what I don't like about this car, besides the backseat space that literally doesn't exist. Like, behind me, there's no one that can sit there. Literally, there's like 5 or 6 inches of space between the back seat and the cushion for the back seat. I mean, the backrest of my seat and the cushion for the back seat is literally like 5 inches of space, so no one can really sit there. Well, we've been driving this whole time pretty much in dynamic mode, and a couple minutes before I switched it back to normal. No problems at all. The car feels... My biggest thing that I do like is how the suspension is tuned, how the steering is tuned, very precise. The transmission feels good. The feel of the car overall, it feels really nice. I guess if you guys will notice this, but the screen is responsive in Apple CarPlay, but in Alfa Romeo menu selection, it's a little bit choppy. Just changing the screens itself, you know, pages. So little choppy, not bad, but again, at this price point, I think it should be smoother. That's when you're in Alfa Romeo mode, you know, like in your native space. But in Apple CarPlay mode, it's perfectly fine. Yep. So I guess the space, that will be number one. I wish it was a little bit larger on the inside, and obviously on the outside could be too. Especially, you know, at this price point, you know, this is, I believe, $50-something thousand vehicle. Yep, $57,000 model. But again, Giulia starts at what, mid 40s to high 40s these days. So if it was just a little bit bigger, so you can have a little bit more space, would be nice. That's like my number one downside, and number two downside would be absence of cooled seats, because it gets hot, and cooled seats is something cool to have, right? Cool seats, cool to have. Those are the two things that so far, you know, not being an owner, but just going for a drive, that I can identify. Other than that, I will say it's really nice. I'm gonna let this old woman go, and we're gonna take this one. Number three would be, but I guess it's just a matter of habit, like a habitual type of thing, is that the turn signal indicator is in a corner. I kind of, for ease of observing it, you know, somewhere high would be better. Other than that, I really can't find anything. It just feels good. Steering is very sharp. You know, as far as a luxury sedan, I will say on a smaller, right? What kind of, what do you guys think? What kind of sedan is this? Is this like a compact sedan, or is this a mid-size? Because I think this is more like on the compact side. In normal mode, acceleration, you just have to wait for a second until it downshifts. In dynamic mode, you don't have that issue, and you're always in the power band. So that will be a difference in transmission tuning. But acceleration is perfectly fine. You have zero issues merging on the highway with normal traffic. Alright guys, well, this concludes our test drive. Subscribe to my channel. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what I can improve on. And I welcome all feedback. And we're back at Alfa Romeo dealership. And quickly, I'm gonna show you the seat in the back. Let's take a look at that. Stop recording. And that's the seat in the back. You guys see that? That's what I mean. There's no way that I will fit in there. Absolutely no way.